Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Kash Patel.
My, oh my, how do you follow Elon Musk when he tells you you're going to take you to Mars? I'll tell you how. He and I share something deeply. We love the American dream. And we have been given a gift by God today to usher in a new dynasty because we just inaugurated Donald J. Trump as our 47th president. And we just inaugurated J.D. Vance as our Vice President of the United States. And we did that because the American dream is alive and well, because you chose that our dream can be the dream for our children and the dream for our world. And we are at a crossroads here in America, but our future is bright because you had the courage to stand for your convictions. So I'm humbled here to talk to you about why I love the American dream. My story's pretty simple, it's unique, and some of you share in it. My parents were born and raised in East Africa. My father in the 1970s fled a genocidal dictatorship in Uganda, where he saw 300,000 of his countrymen murdered, where he saw what lawlessness would do if it was allowed to break through the system of constitutional justice. He fled, like so many others. He married my mother. They moved here. They waited in line. They stood in line because the American dream was worth standing in line for. That dream is woven into the fabric of this nation, and our immigration policy is the greatest policy in the world, and now that we have Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance, it will become the greatest policy in the world again. But dreams and hopes aren't enough, my friends. We gotta get to work. And we gotta accept the realities that too many of you know from your communities. President Trump launched in his first term priorities of national security, law enforcement, economy, and global diplomacy. But now we have to retread some of that. And I'd just like to go over a few of the things that our community has been living under these last few years. In the last calendar year alone, we had 100,000 drug overdoses. In the last calendar year alone, we had over 100,000 rapes. In the last calendar year alone, we had 17,000 homicides. That is unacceptable in 2025 in the United States of America. That is why we need constitutional law and order. When I read the statistic that for the age group of 18 to 45...
Sorry guys, my live stream got disconnected because it froze. I have a piece of crap computer, so send me a super chat so you can help me out.
Most of all, that face our future generations. But thank God, we will be starting right now.
Bueno, señores, hoy tenemos el apoyo.
President Trump and J.D. Vance's leadership and administration will usher in the priorities that I cherished during my 16 years in government service. That we will always, always honor the men and women who wear the cloth of our nation and stand on that wall and tell you nothing's getting by them tonight. And so to them, thank you. To our teachers and our frontline workers and our first responders, y'all choose to show up every single day for our children, for our communities, and we will now show up for you. Thank you for keeping us safe. To the men and women in law enforcement, and maybe I'm biased on this one, Our police officers, our sheriffs, our federal agents are some of the greatest warriors that God has ever created. And we will put them first because they have our backs, and now we will have your backs.
If you guys want. I hope you can hear me, buddy. We have here.
I am standing here because of the American dream. I am not standing here because of the color of my skin. I'm standing here because I earned my right on this stage, and you earned your right to be here with me. And I promise you this, with every fiber of my being, that our law enforcement, that our teachers, that our first responders, that our veterans, that our men and women in uniform who dare to serve this country and put themselves below the rest of our needs will be reprioritized to the top of the heap because they are standing on that wall, and we will not let that light go dark on them. Whether I was a national security prosecutor, a public defender, President Trump's deputy director of national intelligence, his chief of staff at the Department of Defense, or so many other roles that I was humbled and privileged to serve when I swore an oath to that Constitution, which I hope to do so again one day soon. You have my word that you have ushered in a dynasty of change. You have ushered in a dynasty that will allow our children to live this American dream. My American dream. I am living the world's American dream. I am the son of lawful immigrants. We worked our tails off just like you all do, and I'm gonna make you a deal. I promise you I will never quit on your children. I will never quit on their children, because this American dream does not belong to me. It does not belong to them. This American dream belongs to the world. So in closing, I just want to tell you this. It's pretty cool to be speaking in Capital One Arena right before the boss.
Bueno, aquí dice que es un orgullo hablar aquí en esta harina antes el jefe. Presidente ya viene a hablar. Presidente ya viene a hablar. Cuando habla, yo voy a traducir, ¿ok?
Our country, everywhere I go, shows us that we are not only the beacon of hope, but we are the land of constitutional justice. We are the land under Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance, where we are going to end the two-tier system of justice. We are going to remove the weaponization of the intelligence community for political purposes. And we are going to put the men and women of America first. So listen, there's just one thing left to do. We all got work to do. We've got the greatest president and the greatest vice president in the history of the world. And so I just need you all to do a little bit more. Every time you see a law enforcement officer, every time you see a veteran, every time you see a teacher, shake their hand. Give them a little bit of your time, because they're giving us all of our time. And don't forget to enjoy the ride, ladies and gentlemen. God bless America. God bless these United States of America. God bless every one of you. I'm living the American dream. My name is Patel, and I ain't going anywhere. Let's go to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Dan Scavino.
Hello, Patriots. How's everybody doing this evening? We're back! USA! 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 The 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America will be here shortly. He's down at the Capitol. He'll be in a little while. He'll be here. They asked me to come out and say a few words and say hello to you great American patriots that came from all over the country. Thank you for being here today. One thing I just noticed when we were leaving the Capitol after the swearing in that really hit me hard after the journey we have been on over the last 9 years, especially over the last 4 years. It really hit me when they took the presidential seal right here.
Me dieron muy duro.
In front of the podium for when the president gets here. President Trump often says to us on Team Trump over the years, you're so lucky that I took you on this journey.
Suscríbete, 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 suscríbete.
And the bad times.
Déjame saber en los comentarios si quieres que te traduzca, ¿ok? Déjame saber en los comentarios.
In the Oval Office at Mar-a-Lago, no matter where it may be, good times, bad times, you are so lucky I took you on this journey. And you know what, Mr. President? You are damn right. You took all of us on this journey. There's been a lot of stops along the way from 2016 when we started back in 2015 with a small campaign team flying around the country, doing rallies, small team, 6, 7, maybe 8 people. Then it continued to grow. Before you knew it, the GOP nomination was going to Donald J. Trump in Cleveland in 2016. Fast forward, he became the 45th President of the United States of America. He had a great 4-year term, and you know what's been great? The last 4 years have not been great in many senses, but he's back in office right now, and I'm just absolutely so pumped up for what this president is going to do. He loves each and every one of you in this arena. The guy cares. He has a fighting spirit, as you saw in Butler, Pennsylvania, with the assassination attempt that came a few months ago. You could say that again. Fight, fight, fight. It's a moment that I will never forget being there and in the hospital with him. I want to just give you a behind-the-scenes moment with the president and the heart that he has. We were in the hospital he had blood coming down his ear. He wanted to know how his staff was. Myself and Susie were with him, and Stephen Chung and Walt, and even the Secret Service. How are you guys doing? The guy just got shot in the damn head and he's worried about us. Are you guys okay? He's on the phone with his family.
Donald Trump, very humble, Donald Trump.
The iconic photo of his fist raised in the air. Told him it was from Doug Mills from the New York Times, a great photographer. He looked at the picture, he's staring at the picture, one of the most historical photos of all time. There'll never be anything like it. He said,
God
call
bless
Doug.
America, guys. What do you guys think? Let's make a poll question.
That's the attitude he had in that hospital. Our president has been resilient through a lot. And I don't need to get into all of it because you're all familiar with it, and I'm convinced much of it that went on over the last 4 years is why he won the election in an electoral landslide. In Butler, Pennsylvania, when he got up and he raised that fist and he shouted, "Fight." He will do that for every one of you, for the United States of America. He will always put America first, without question. He loves what he does. He's got a great administration and a great team behind him. What a journey. McDonald's, drive-through window. Garbage trucks showing up at a rally, and him on the plane putting on his orange vest. Sir, are you going to take that off? I'm going to the rally in my orange vest.
Trump is a people's person. Trump is a guy who
is one in a trillion. There will
represents the
never be
American.
anybody
Trump
like
is
this
a
man
guy
again.
who represents
Enjoy
American
this
excellence.
moment.
Trump is going to be awesome.
Enjoy this movement. And together, we will continue to fight, 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 put America first, and make America great again. God bless everybody here. We love you. Thank you.
I gotta tell you this: when Barack hearing that Donald Trump is the same thing as the guy with the mustache from Germany. Those things radicalize people, man. And those things do a lot of problems. We can't hear you, bro. Lower the music because Trump joins. Okay, I hope you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Oh, I see what you're saying. I did something bad with the volume. Thank you for letting me know. But yeah, we're waiting for Trump to arrive. Hopefully he arrives soon. Um, we are here waiting for Trump to arrive. We are waiting for Trump. So some of the major points that Trump spoke about, he said that he's gonna go back to the 1798 law of that is kind of like anti-immigration. In that 1798 law, believe it or not, the main antagonists of the U.S. government were the French nationals and the Native Americans, of course, and they were kind of just the Thomas Jefferson's and the Democrat Republican Party. They were more pro France, but the John Quincy Adams side was more federalist and like very, very um, anti foreign interruption in America. And yeah, we're gonna go back to that, and that grants the police the power to intervene, man, intervene. What is PBS saying? Let's see
Great.
what PBS.
While we wait for those, we're going to turn back here to our panel who've been watching the day's events unfold with all of us. Judy Woodruff, reflect back on what we've seen so far. I know we've described him oftentimes as an unconventional president, but this is a man who's coming back into office for a non-consecutive term, has addressed the American people now twice in the inaugural address and then off-the-cuff remarks at Emancipation Hall. We expect he may speak again in the arena before a huge crowd of supporters.
So we may hear from him 3 times today. We fully expect he's going to want to speak to that crowd, a large, thousands of people have been waiting, which makes this a different kind of inaugural day. I don't remember another inauguration, and I've covered them since Jimmy Carter, where the president had this kind of opportunity that he's had. So we're hearing, we are familiar with Donald Trump. He came on the scene in 2015. We're now 10 years into our familiarity, if you will. So there aren't so many surprises. There was a lot of conversation going into today's address about whether, because he had said in an interview that he was going to speak about unity.
That's right.
In the address today, I did count one time during today's address when he talked about the country is going to be united or unified. But other than that, it was an address, as we've been discussing, about the difficulties the country's had, how hard it's been on the American people, and how we're now going to come out of that and turn the corner. Golden age.
Trump habla de la era de oro que viene un tiempo bueno. Fíjense que varias personas en el gobierno de Trump hablaron de la era de oro. Varias personas hablaron de eso. Tiffany Smiley del estado de Washington habla de los peligros que hicieron que Trump ganara, desde el crimen, la violencia, la inseguridad de los migrantes.
Tell that he's ready to get to work by his nominees that he has. He's ready to go. He's ready to hit the ground running, and he's been very clear he's going to start today.
And Amy Walter, when Donald Trump says that he has a mandate, what does the polling show? What are the American people expecting, and what are they prepared for?
What's really interesting is we now can compare what people were expecting 4 years ago. We can't usually do that with the first-term president, to what they're expecting this time around. And as Judy said, they've seen this movie before, but their expectations for him, at least on what he will be able to do well or what they expect him to be able to focus on and do well and accomplish, are very similar to how they thought about him 4 years ago. The economy, immigration, things that are different from 4 years ago. Fewer people expect that he would get the country into a war. Obviously, this is a president who has talked a lot about pulling America back from getting engaged overseas. Also talked a lot about the fact that when he was president, the country was not engaged in wars. So that expectation is there. They have very little expectation, much as they did when he was first inaugurated in 2017, that he's going to unify the country. And I think that's what Trump also sees as his mandate, which is, I'm here to bring prosperity to America. And America is only prosperous when I am here, right? It was the best economy in the history of ever times when I was president. When I'm not here, things are terrible. So that's a part of it. But to your take on the mandate, there are things that they do expect. They do expect prices to go down. They do expect the economy to get better. They do expect to see deportations. But they also do not see that he was given a mandate by the degree to which I think he and some others expect. The reality, and this will be fascinating going forward, is he's a lame duck president who is going to act like somebody who has a very short amount of time to get done what he needs to get done. What happens to his party afterwards, I think, is less important to him than whether or not he is able to do the things that he set out to do.
Kevin, it's worth pointing out, people expect that. His supporters expect these things from him because he has set those expectations, right? He came in off the campaign trail and said, I'm going to do this on day one. People are expecting to see mass deportations. They're expecting to see him impose tariffs very quickly. Yep. We've just seen the Panamanian president issue a statement in response to the inaugural address, rejecting part of it immediately after because of his claims in the inaugural address that he's going to claim back the Panama Canal. What happens if he doesn't meet those expectations right away, if deportations are not at the level people expect?
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to get caught up in the pomp and circumstance and the pageantry of today and the promise of a presidency. But we're going to very quickly see this move into the brutal reality of the real politics that we have and the divisions that we have in the country. Donald Trump does feel like he has a mandate, but political mandates are in reality very elusive. Public opinion is never an event, it's always a process. And the process of really maintaining his political capital, maintaining the momentum that he needs to get these big things done is going to be quite difficult. We are, the mandate that he thinks he got is largely because of his approach his approach to focusing on things like inflation, immigration, border security. It is not easy to bring down inflation. It is not easy to deport millions of people around the country while at the same time not disrupting our economy. We're going to find that out very quickly. And we'll find out whether or not, David mentioned it earlier before, whether the people around him can sort of keep him on the guardrails and really shepherd him through what is going to be, I think, a very challenging first year over his next 4 years.
And David, building on this theme of Donald Trump's mandate, you could argue that his popular vote victory was fairly narrow, but his cultural victory is significant, especially if you look at what many companies are doing in terms of rolling back diversity and DEI initiatives in keeping with what Republicans and Donald Trump have talked about all during the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, at first, I don't know what a mandate is. I've never touched one. I don't know what it is. But, I think first there's a political shift in this country. The country is moving to the right. And usually these things happen in 7 or 8 year cycles. We moved sharply to the left from 2013 to 2020, say, 2022. But now on a whole range of issues, we're moving to the right. He has a special power because he's Donald Trump. It doesn't matter, he only won a bare majority or a bare plurality of the vote. But what we're seeing today, 3 speeches, his ability to command attention. Yep. That is something Joe Biden never really had. And so when Donald Trump says to a Republican House member or a senator, don't cross me, it's not because he's going to give him money, it's because he's going to shift attention on that guy. And that's power. So it's usual when somebody's hitting the end of their presidency, their power starts waning. Like Teddy Roosevelt, his first full term, his second term as president, he said, I'm not running again. And he regretted that because he lost power. But I don't think Donald Trump's going to experience that because he will retain the power of commanding the country's attention and the country's scorn for people who are not loyal to him.
Jonathan, in his departure address there, the brief remarks that former President Biden delivered in the hangar before boarding the plane to take off to California, we cut into it briefly, and he basically alluded to the fact that having heard the inaugural address there, he said, we got work to do, speaking to Democrats and his supporters there. What is that work? Where do Democrats find themselves now, especially given what David just said about Mr. Trump's ability, President Trump's ability to really suck up all the oxygen in the conversation and command the attention? How do Democrats respond to that?
Well, first, President Biden had been warning, even in his farewell address, that there was work to do, that there were things that he was concerned about. And so what he said in the hangar is a repeat of that. But in terms of President Trump commanding attention and commanding the room and commanding fealty, let's not forget the reason why he's able to do that with members of Congress is because that command, that power is based in fear. They are afraid of a primary challenge. They're also afraid of the president's MAGA followers. Just look at Senator Joni Ernst. When Pete Hegseth was, picked to be the defense secretary, she was one of the first people out there expressing concerns about him, raising questions. But then the MAGA mob was set upon her, and now she has shifted. Now she is saying that she will support the nomination. That's how Trump is able to command the room. That is how he is able to hold the power. And it remains to be seen whether, and I think we talked about this earlier, whether that power rests solely with President Biden, or is it a power that goes beyond him?
For more on how the Democrats move forward in this moment, we're joined by Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Let's just start off with your reaction. I believe Ro Khanna is with us. Let's see if we can bring him in before we reintroduce our other guests. There, Congressman, we see you now. Thanks for being with us. Let's just begin with your reaction to what we've heard from President Trump so far and reflect on Democrats' strategy in this moment.
Well, Donald Trump gave a very dark speech about people being upset, America being a nation in decline. And for a lot of Americans, they do feel angry and left out. The reality is, though, Donald Trump is offering 19th and 20th century solutions. He's talking about manifest destiny of imperial expansion. He's talking about drilling oil and gas. And I think China is probably laughing at that, saying, where is the vision for the 21st century future building of America? What are the solutions in the future? And that's where the Democrats have an opportunity to say, yes, we understand there has been stagnation and decline, but Trump wants to sell American nostalgia. That's not going to win the 21st century.
And Congressman Khanna, before we talk about more of the issues, I want to ask you, because you represent the Bay Area, which is the backyard of Silicon Valley. When you see the heads of Meta, Apple, Google, Amazon, Elon Musk, of course, having really front row seats to this inauguration, in many ways trying to get in and stay in Donald Trump's good graces, how does that strike you?
Well, Musk is a separate case because he was all in on the campaign. But for many of the others, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai, they did the first thing when Trump won the first time Tim Cook was in the Oval Office. I think the reality is they're looking out for their own business interests, in Bill Gates' case for his own philanthropic interests, and they do this whoever's in power. And so the moral leadership is going to have to come from the grassroots of the country, from the Democratic Party. I don't think we can be looking to business leaders to be doing anything other than maximizing their own shareholder profits.
That level of influence these leaders seem to now have, though, with this incoming president. I mean, they were sitting in front of his cabinet nominees at that inauguration ceremony. What does that say to you? Does it worry you? And is this what President Biden was talking about in his farewell address when he warned about this rising tech oligarchy?
Well, it does concern me in terms of the level of wealthy individuals, both who are in the cabinet, who have supported the inauguration. I mean, the irony of it is because of the cold, the hardworking, working class Americans who elected Donald Trump weren't able to watch the inauguration. But these billionaires and multimillionaires who supported his inauguration were. But I think over time, the American people are very smart, and they're going to see that his policies are going to be tax breaks for these very wealthy folks. They're going to be tax breaks for corporations that are offshoring jobs, because he wants the corporate tax rate lower in places like Mexico than the United States. That his policies of sort of manifest destiny aren't going to do anything to build new factories and new industries in communities that have been hollowed out. And ultimately, he's selling Americans nostalgia. And I understand why people are.
It's incredible how they bring these Democrats to talking PBS. It's like all they do in that public broadcast network is to bring. Let's go back to some of the historical things. Look here. Let's look at what Trump said. Let's hear this out. He was in a that was amazing. It was just a few minutes ago. Listen to this,
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities.
Listen, I don't know where the hell you live. Maybe you live in a gated community, man.
This
but
week,
the cities, man.
I will also
bunch of
end the
people in
government
bedtime
policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
That's right. That's right. You know, when this started, and Trump was president, Trump didn't pay a lot of money for it. Okay? Let's keep it real. But these Democrats, they really pushed it a lot for the Biden administration. And Trump said, you know what? That's it. That's it, bro.
This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay.
I'm going to the Federation people. It's not going to look good. Where you from, bro? Hey, listen, Puerto Rico. Some loves Puerto Rico, okay? Puerto Rico.
And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
And put women out of the combat, man. Women should not be in combat.
Our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
I think we're going to say defeat ISIS. You guys remember how we defeated ISIS and all that? Man, that was a good time. Just grab the channel, don't be honest.
Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Damn right. No more Ukraine. No more help for Ukraine. I'm tired of Ukraine and their abuse of Zelensky. You're a baby cry, Zelensky. I'm
My
done with.
proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
As the president, he was.
I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
I already imagine Rachel Maddow saying tonight, "Oh, that was all thanks to the stupid Biden. It was all thanks to Biden. Thanks to Trump. Biden could have stopped that conflict in the Middle East 400 days ago."
America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name.
Okay, I gotta be honest with you. It will be weird because I don't want to be weird, but Gulf of Mexico makes sense because Mexico is there. But I do gotta admit, like, if you're in Panama or Florida, what the hell are you talking about Gulf of Mexico? I don't know. I don't know.
Made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
You asked me if Trump is getting rid of what? The United States Marine Corps? What is the USSCM? What's the A for? What is USMCA? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. She's not even applauding.
My message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
NAFTA, well, if he does put 25% tariffs in Mexican and Canadian goods, to some degree he is replacing NAFTA. Because NAFTA is not something... So Elon Musk behaves like a little kid, man. So Elon Musk.
Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken. I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best.
Oh, yeah. It's the best country in the world, man. I mean, many countries have come and gone, but...
From Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers who pushed onward, marched forward, and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride. Together they laid down the communism and triumphed over every single challenge that they faced. After all we have been through together, we stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. With your help, we will restore America, promise, and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So to every parent who dreams for their child, and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We are going to win like never before.
Well, that's promising. That's awesome. That sounds good to me. That's no problem with that, man.
Thank you.
That sounds awesome. Put America first again. Make America great again. You know, all the countries in the world put themselves first. Listen, I study Latin
In
American
recent
politics.
years, our nation has suffered
If you say
greatly.
put Mexico first
We
in
are
Mexico,
going to
they're
bring
gonna
it
say we
back
love
and
you, man.
Make it great again,
Let's be like them.
greater
Let's put America
than ever
first.
before. We will be a nation like no other, full of compassion, courage, and exceptionalism. Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable. America will be respected again and admired again, including by people of religion, faith, and goodwill. We will be prosperous. We will be proud. We will be strong, and we will win like never before. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
What a good presentation.
As newly sworn in, now President Trump speaking to the American people.
Live version of all this.
Our equal branches
live
of government as well as our enduring
Before the 6 p.m.,
democracy.
let's see what's going on now. Give us
There
a
they
like.
are.
Give us a we see a favor between France and France.
I will now invite Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson of Louisiana, to give the toast to the Vice President.
This guy's I do not like.
Thank you so much. It's my great honor to offer a toast to our new Vice President, Mr. J.D. Vance.
How you
J.D.,
passed
you wrote
that
something
bill
very
to extend the debt of America? Johnson, you have to go, man. I hate you guys.
The successful from the unsuccessful are the expectations they had for their own lives. That's really meaningful. That expectation is a powerful thing. We remember the people in our lives who provided that to us. We all need that. Everybody needs hope and encouragement. They need a greater expectation. We need people in our lives who will make us look farther and reach higher. JD's written a lot about the people in his life that have done that. He's written about, we know the great story of your grandparents and what they did in your life. He's written about his professors and mentors that he met in law school.
Nobody likes you, Johnson. Nobody likes you. You're an idiot.
His beautiful wife, our new second lady, Usha, is a great inspiration as well. And JD, you yourself have been inspiring people. Your story really has. It's one of the reasons that I believe God has raised your platform as he has, because you've been so faithful to tell that story and to inspire so many others. And so our hope and our prayer is, as you continue to do this, that as you go to help us execute on the America First agenda, that you also do what you've been doing so well all along, and that is providing a model for what is possible in America. What a great story. What an inspiring story you've had.
Trump doesn't like him. Trump doesn't like Speaker Johnson. You can tell by the way that he's acting. Trump doesn't like.
That if you work hard and you play by the rules and you do the right thing, you can make a better life. You're now the Vice President of the United States, my friend. So everyone, will you please join me in raising a glass to our own mentors, the people who inspired all of us, to the possibilities of our own future, to these great new horizons. What a perfect choice this was for the painting, the artwork today, and to the great example of our new Vice President, Mr. J.D. Vance. You're here.
Nobody likes you, Johnson. You're an idiot. You see the way that Trump is acting, the demeanor that he has? Trump doesn't like it.
Thank you, Speaker Johnson and Vice President Vance. I will now invite my senator next door in the state of South Dakota, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, to give the toast.
We have a comment here saying he's not human. I used to love the United States, but I soon realized that most of them are imperially racist. Russia, China, Mexico. Dude, you raising those flags? Are you for real, my man?
Mr. President,
you're a joke, man.
Madam First Lady, congratulations. It is an honor for all of us to be able to be here today with you on this historic day as we celebrate your inauguration. Mr. President, one of the most important influences in my life when I was getting started in politics was Ronald Reagan. His philosophy of limited government, his belief in peace through strength, the strength of his convictions, were all things that appealed to me. But I was also drawn by his optimism and by his belief in America. And Mr. President, those are qualities that I see in you. One of the things that resonated throughout your campaign was the unshakable belief in our country and in her citizens. You remind us of everything that's possible in America. I'm looking forward to working with you over the next 4 years to build up our great country. It says in the scriptures that if you ask for wisdom, it will be given to you and given to you generously. And so I pray, and our prayer is, that God will richly bless you in the years ahead and grant you not only strength, but wisdom. And ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to join me in raising a glass to the President of the United States, President Donald Trump. Hear, hear.
Reagan, what about Brazil? What the hell are you talking about? Lincoln the power that Trump saved Brazil. You gotta save yourself.
So,
you gotta save yourself from
this
doing
has been a long day with many other things ahead for so many of you. But I want to thank you for attending the 60th inaugural ceremonies. And as we close, we ask that you pick up a gift. All of our guests are going to get a set of commemorative glasses in embossed leather featuring the Great Seal of the United States, which Senator Fisher and I selected together, and maybe Senator McConnell added some bourbon from Kentucky. Just saying. It is now my privilege to conclude this luncheon by asking Margaret Kibben, the chaplain for the House of Representatives, to deliver the benediction. Thank you.
So much corruption.
And we know we love this eagle podium. It's pretty good, Mr. President.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction.
Would you pray with me? Holy and merciful God, having witnessed another successful moment in the experiment that you have entrusted into the hands of the American people, we pray your blessing on our 47th President of these United States, Donald J. Trump, and Vice President James D. Vance. Ensure that this mantle of singular responsibility that you have laid upon our President's shoulders remains secure in your will and safeguarded in your keeping. Uphold him as he preserves, protects, and defends the Constitution to the best of his abilities, relying on your divine help. God of power and might, grace and mercy, grant that your spirit of counsel has access to the President's heart to search it, to his mind to examine it, to his will to test it, that his faithfulness would bear witness to your truth. Surround him with angels and advisors who will serve as your agents to guide and guard him, caution and encourage him to remain upright and blameless in your sight. Buckle the belt of truth around his waist. Place the breastplate of righteousness over his heart. Fit his feet with readiness, that your gospel of wisdom and justice will shine forth throughout President Trump's administration. We offer this prayer to the one whose voice we follow to guide all that we do and all that we hope for. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Please remain at your seats as President Trump, Vice President Vance, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, and the official party depart National Statuary Hall.
You're watching live picture of the inaugural luncheon that's now come to an end. As you see, one of the inaugural committee chairs, Senator Amy Klobuchar, speaking with President Trump and Vice President Vance. Additional ceremonies are going to unfold as part of the inaugural ceremonies and celebration at the Capitol. Then Mr. Trump, of course, will make his way to Capital One Arena, where the inaugural parade is expected to unfold. In the meantime, we'd like to bring in Matthew Continetti of the American Enterprise Institute, who joins us now to talk about President Trump and the Republican Party at this moment. Matt, thanks so much for being with us. One of the reasons I was looking forward to speaking with you today is I know you've taken a very long lens when it comes to how the Republican Party has arrived at this moment and this leader. And I just want you to reflect on what we heard from President Trump in his inaugural address, the policies, the priorities of this president, and what it says about where Republicans are right now.
Sure, thanks for having me. You know, I think there are a lot of similarities between Donald Trump's second inaugural address and his first inaugural address 8 years ago. But the similarities end there with the text of the speech. The world is a very different place. America is a very different place. And I think the Republican Party is a very different party. And when you look at the images of President Trump and now Vice President...
Look, man, Trump is president and there's nothing you can do about it, man. You guys lost. You guys lost. Trump is president. What kind of comments do we have here? We have Spanish comments. Pero y no se hayan reequivocado los que votaron creyendo todo lo que le dijo este personaje. Well, good thing that you don't matter, bro. Aquí dice el nuevo fascista de Estados Unidos. That's not true. Trump is not a fascist. Wow. Look at Melanie Trump. She looks really pretty. Although I don't know why she wore that hat. So Trump promises that he's going to mass deport round people and deport them. He's going to change that rule of the young people that are born in the United States being born citizens if they're from parents who are undocumented. He promises to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. He promises to attack the cartels and labels them as terrorist groups, which is a kick in the ass to Claudia Sheinbaum in Mexico. And yeah, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Saludos a Mara Maker que dice Trump lo logró. Bueno, el mundo no desapareció. Eso es lo que yo no sé qué fue lo que pasó ahí. Well, we are 84,531. We did a great job today. And a little strange, right? How Melanie behaves. I don't know if she's going through some type of stress. I wouldn't say that she was a bad first lady. Of course she wasn't. But it's a lot of stress, man. I wouldn't want to be in her situation. Poor Melanie looks like she had a really, really tough time. She's not as involved as her first presidency, which is good. And her son is going to be living in New York, going to college. She's already 18. He already graduated high school. So he does deserve from being a break from the White House. You see Marco Rubio there in the back. Marco Rubio in this kind of setting looks so no empathy for that guy because he's not even like he's so short. the future head of state, such a important position as head of state. I think that as head of state, he's like number 5 number 3, number 4, number 5 in the chain of importance when it comes to if Trump dies, who becomes president. So Marco Rubio there. He's ready to go. I don't know where he's going. We do have that rally in the Capital One Arena. Not sure if he's gonna head there. Elon Musk spoke in the arena, but I think they might be heading there. I'm not sure. But the support. Oh, look, that's his other daughter. No, that's something strange. I don't know if you saw that. That was one of his other daughter that was there. Not Ivanka, the other one, and he didn't even say hi to her. It's something. Well, people because he already knows he's not in that mission, right? So let me not exaggerate there. Let me not go into the gossip. But please subscribe to the channel, support the channel. We do videos in Spanish, and I guess we do in English now. But let me know if you want me to do more videos in English. Subscribe and tell me in the comments. 25,000 soldiers and police are guarding the city of Washington, D.C. It's a lot of people, a lot of security in the area. Trump is so amazing to still be friendly enough to provide. You seeing a room of high quality people. There is no over stuff of like the things that the Democrats do. There is a high level. Oh, Tiffany, yeah, that was Tiffany Trump. Yeah, that was Tiffany Trump. She didn't. I don't know. There's something always weird about Tiffany Trump. I don't know if she doesn't like the spotlight. My idea with Tiffany Trump was always like more liberal. She didn't want to get in, whatever. Our kids sometimes are not as we wish they could be. So much class. So much class. It's a lot of class. A lot of respect for these people. A lot of class. God, good gracious that we don't have those Democrats leading the country anymore with this stupidity. Well, JD Vance is young. He could be president. I'm just saying. JD Vance has not been president yet and vice president yet, and I think he's gonna be a great vice president. And it gives him kind of like a check because I mean, Trump's life is always at risk, right? Because the media has sent these people indirectly to take him out, right? By the things that they say, claiming him to be as worse as Hitler. Here you go. This is Basil. You see that's a little nasty there. I don't want to be too negative, but you saw how the head of the House of Representatives he shook the hand of Jeff Bezos. I don't like that. I don't like one of the richest men in the world to be high-fiving the head of the House like that. I know I don't mean to sound overly like too much, but I don't like all this capitalists like in the government, like in the Senate, like in the business. No. I am not an anti-capitalist. I'm not a communist. God forbid. But I don't like. See, just as much as I don't like the government giving free handouts, I also don't like the capitalists, the rich capitalists. There, like I don't like. Elon Musk to me, for some degree, is hilarious. But Jeff Bezos there shaking the hand of like we all know what Jeff Bezos did, what he supported during Biden. Are we gonna act like he didn't support Biden? We all know what kind of people they are, man. There you go, one of Trump's son. Very loyal. Very loyal. I hope the security is up to par, man. I hope the security is taking care of things because you never know. You never know with this crazy lunatics. Hey, my first video in English in a long time. I made a video in English like the third day that I made a video. I think it's still there. My first video ever on YouTube was about how you should vote for Donald Trump. And I got carried away. I remember like my third video was in English and I just didn't go back. I kept talking in Spanish, but I'm so happy to hear the country that I live in, the country that has treated me with so much respect, the United States, is going to this transition that I think is going to be for the best. I don't like everything that Trump is going to do. I don't like everything that Trump says, but I like him over Biden 1,000%. Biden is a terror to the United States. And I also know that if I were to ask for something better than Trump, I mean, I can't get what I want in the president in all ways. That's ridiculous. How am I gonna get everything I want in the president? And he would just be me. So there's stuff that I can criticize, but the stuff that I can criticize for, like in theory, how they're being expressed, but we're gonna put them into action, and if the country comes out better, you gotta take it for what you get. Yeah. Plus, it's a little bit almost like making a shake, like a special formula. Like you put all this goods, you're like, I don't like onions, but then you eat it and it's delicious with onions. I don't like the attitude towards immigrants in some type of way. But maybe that's what's needed because, by having that attitude, maybe less people are going to come and less people are going to be invited. And there's a lot of kids being trafficked. So, maybe it's what's best. I like to be judgmental to my own thoughts. So, yeah. Here this guy comes. Ramasaw, whatever his name is. This guy, I think he's lost his chance. Ramasaw, whatever his name is, because the guy is Hindu. I don't think America is ready to vote for a guy who's Hindu. The Mexicans voted for an atheist. They can do whatever the hell they want in Mexico, but America, I don't think we're ready to vote for. Even Obama, who's an atheist, he said he was Christian when he ran for president. Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever his name is, he's not Christian. It's hard for him to win. Look at the robot, the president of Facebook. I wonder I wonder if he's thinking, oh, I should run for president. I don't like them there, man. I don't like the president of Facebook there. Because in one parallel universe, you can say, why isn't then the head of Disney there? Why isn't the head of American Airlines there, right? But then you say, no, but let's put the guy from Facebook. Why? Facebook is very important, and Jeff Bezos too, but we're putting people who control media because Amazon through Amazon Prime controls. Is that a different girlfriend? I mean, she looks so much better. His wife. I always remember her wife being like more pale, more white, and worse looking. But yeah, I don't like that. Um, they have deleted so many accounts. There was a time during 2020 that if you send somebody a message on Facebook saying like there is a laptop that has secrets that Hunter Biden is a criminal, they will censor your message to somebody. So you say, "Hey, mom, look at this Hunter Biden's story." They will censor your email. I mean, your message through Facebook. I will never forget what he did. Son of a. I don't like that guy. I don't have a problem, I guess, the rich tech guys, but why are they there? They need to be like a fourth branch of government in some type of way. Why is the SWAT team doing there? They took it off. Like, why are they doing there? Like, I wish that like one day we get to see like, because we live in the era of the internet now and like cameras. Imagine that like 30 years from now, they declassify like videos, or like 30 years passed by already. Like, I wish that how they declassify documents, maybe they could declassify videos, of like what really happened. Like, what did Barack Obama told Xi Jinping? Like, so is the video. That would be very cool. Who are these people? I see Navy, Marines. I see a wide range of military personnel there. Sailman. Awesome. Well, guys, I'm gonna close this live. Muchas gracias. Peace. I don't mean to close with this bad energy, just that I'm very tired. I go to sleep a little early. It's been a long day. But guys, Trump is president.